Welcome to my series of AI videos. Today's video we are going to look at an interesting topic as to how to evaluate a chatbot. Okay, so we developed a chatbot and we exposed it as a A2A agent. Right now, we'll see how we can validate. Okay, so let's first break down the problem. Right, so let's say your chatbot is for certain task, right, or certain type of activity. Right now, what I'll say is that, okay, let's throw different types of conversation at it. Okay, so for this particular case, I'll say that this chatbot is like a coaching chatbot, right? So some of the typical conversations it may have is a burnout, right? If a person is burnt out, right? Then what would be the conversation like, right? So the person will say, I have been feeling really exhausted lately, right? Not just physically, but mentally too, right? So on and so forth, right? Then career stuck. Somebody is stuck in career, right? Then what uh, he would say, I feel like I'm stuck in my career. I have been in the same role for almost 6 years, right? So on and so forth, right? So that is the first thing. Okay, so first you kind of define these types of conversations. Okay, now the next thing is very simple, right? So I'll directly jump into this A2A UL client, right? So first of all, it's going to discover your chatbot, right? So we have been running this A2A wrapped chatbot, right? So it's first going to discover that, right? So after it's discovered, it's going to check, oh, does it have a chat capability? Okay. Now the next thing I'm calling it as a discover test. So basically, what I have done is these conversations I converted them to JSON, right? So if you look at this data set like this burnout, right? It's a JSON, right? So it basically has wrapped that text into some sort of structure that a machine can understand. Okay, so it's going to discover test, right? And then I'll just limit it, right? Maybe you run all these scenarios. Right? I have 10 scenarios, maybe just two of them, three of them, right? Okay. The next thing is we'll run these tests. Now, how do we run these tests? We basically just run these conversations, right? So if we look at this run conversation, it basically just invokes the chatbot, right? And gathers these replies, right? This invoke chatbot, as you can see, is basically going to invoke our A2A kind of conversation. Okay. Uh, Now, after that, we'll kind of evaluate this. Okay. Now, how do we this evaluation? Okay. So very simple, right? So first of all, I'll take this whole transcript, right, and pass it to like a large LLM, right? And I'll tell that LLM, hey, LLM, uh, this is a coaching chatbot, right? And then again, as we know, if we ask it to evaluate the whole thing, it may not do a good job. So we'll say, okay, these are six criteria, right? Empathy, question quality, coaching effectiveness, right? So on and so forth, right? Uh, and then we'll ask it to return a JSON, right? Where now we'll also have overall score, right? We'll kind of take an average of this, or we can have a weighted average. And finally, reasoning, right? Why you came up with this kind of score. Okay. So now, what I'll show is I just ran it, right, uh, on this, right? So I ran this evaluator client against my A2A chatbot, right? So it first did discovery. It said, okay, fine, it has a chat, right? So then it picked up the burnout test case, right? Then for each of those 10 conversations, it got those results, okay? Career stuck, so on and so forth, right? And then it passed it to LLM saying that evaluate, okay? Uh, Now, basically, uh, this is the result that I got, right? Now, uh, I also captured that output in a JSON, right? So that you can look at it, right? So now if I go to this validation JSON, right now it will show you the whole thing, right? Now, uh, the first test case was burnout, right? So the user said, I've been feeling really exhausted lately, right? Now this is kind of a dummy chatbot, right? We know it's a mock chatbot, so it's just going to repeat what you said because it's not one of these hello, hi kind of thing, right? It just said, you said I have been feeling, right? And basically you get the idea, right? So it captured the whole conversation, right? Um, so Now uh, it's going to run the second test case, right? Uh, Now it's going to evaluate, right? Now you can see, right? So the evaluation, right? The criteria like empathy, obviously it's very low, right? Uh, I mean, it's a dummy chatbot, right? So a lot of these like scores will be low, right? Uh, Interestingly, right, you'll see this avoid advice is reasonably high, right? 8, because obviously it didn't give any advice, right? So some of these will be kind of deceptive, right? But you get the idea, right? I mean, overall score is pretty bad, right? It's like 4, right? And you can see the reasoning. It understood, failed to show empathy by simply repeating the user statements without acknowledging, uh, right, uh, their emotions or experiences. The question quality is poor, right? So on and so forth, right? So you get that clarity, right? So you get all the reasoning, right? So similarly, I did it for the career stuck, right? It gave the evaluation, right? And as you can see, this is how it would look like, right? Obviously, I mean, if you write a very smart chatbot, it should score very well, right? But that is the whole idea of using this evaluation framework with chatbot. Okay, so good luck using AI. If you like the video, click the like button, subscribe to my channel, and see you in next video. Bye for now.